You're watching betsafe.com. The boots are off. We are talking the Manchester derby. With me, two former legends, Bryan Robson and Paul Dickov. First of all, guys, can review the last couple of games. A great win for Manchester United, a steady win for Manchester City in the end. Should we touch on the City game first? Going 1-0 down, it was a surprise, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Well, done it at Huddersfield as well. You know, struggled a little bit against Southampton and then the West Ham game at the weekend. But I think what they've shown is, you know, going into these three games, I think everybody was expecting them to score 4, 5 and 6. That was the expectation because the way they were playing. Without being at their best, you know, they've shown they've got a bit of character now this season, which I look at some games last season when they went behind or they were drawn games, they couldn't find a way to turn that around. With the players they've got now, even if they're not in top form, you know, Kevin De Bruyne wasn't at his best at the weekend, but produces a moment of magic for David Silva, you know, so they've got a lot of belief, they've got a lot of confidence as well as good players now.
We're getting a little bit like United.
Yeah, it's Pep time now, not Fergie time.
Yeah,
that's very Fergie time, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, that's what City are doing well, and that's why, I mean, it's an unbelievable run that they're on at the moment, where I think it's 24 games this season in all competitions, won 23, some record.
Yeah, and it was the manner of watching it. You thought City are going to get the goal. You know, were you worried, or you were probably thinking don't, obviously?
No, for the first time, and look, a lot of my friends are big City fans as well, and they've got the saying, typical City, when things are going well, that they always seem to muck it up. But even speaking to the die-hard City fans who have been through hell over the last sort of 10-15 years, there was a real belief in the stadium. There wasn't any anxiety that's been at the Etihad over the last couple of years when they've not quite got the result. There was a real belief amongst the fans that they were going to do it, and that's a side that they've added to their game this season. You know, I'll even go back to the Bournemouth game, the second game of the season, when they went 1-0 down, 1-1, and they still had the belief to go and win. And that was a big moment for them this season, because they've really kicked on since then.
Do you think it's one of those, though, Paul, that they've got more options up front now? You know, so when things are not going too well, they've got people who can change the game. Yeah. Where maybe last season they didn't quite have that.
Without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, I go most home games, Brian, and last season you could see Pep turning around looking at his bench with 20-25 minutes to go, and it's no disrespect to these players because they've been great servants. You know, there was Zabaleta was on the bench, Clichy, Kolarov, Sanya. You know, you've got four fullbacks on the bench when you're looking to change the game, and now you've got Yaya Toure, Gabriel Jesus come on and change the game. I thought at half time Bernardo Silva, David Silva was on the bench, Aguero's been on the bench, you know, so when they are struggling, and you know better than me, Brian, when you've got that talent in the team, it gives you much more belief that you can get something out of the game.
Yeah. Happy with the victory at the weekend and the manner that United, because it's a very different way that United get a win, isn't it, than City do?
Not in the manner, but you've got to say what a great week for United, you know, beating Watford down there, because that's not an easy place to go on. Scoring 4 goals, then scoring more goals again when they go to Arsenal. But I thought we sat off a little bit when we went 2-0 in front, like earlier in the game. And if you're going to keep doing that, some opposition are going to score against you earlier than what Arsenal did and get back into the game. So I think we've got to be a little bit more on the front foot, or if you are going to defend, you've got to go up against people. And I thought United allowed Arsenal players to get in little pockets, which caused them problems. And you know, David De Gea had an unbelievable game.
Phenomenal.
You know, which got us at 3 points really. But you can't take anything away from the players. I mean, that's 2 great performances away from home, leading into the City game.
How good a performance was that from De Gea? I mean, you must have seen some great performances from goalkeepers, and you, Paul, but how good was that display?
Well, it's funny because a mate of mine got YouTube on, and it was the Arsenal fans, and this one guy was being interviewed by Arsenal TV, and he said, "What about that David De Gea today?" He says, "He could have saved the Titanic today."
Brilliant.
Yeah, so you look at that and you just think that's an Arsenal fan saying something like that. No, he was outstanding. I mean, that double save that he made was just world class. But he is up there with, you know, the best goalkeepers in the world.
What about the accusations that Jose has had so far this season, the whole parking the bus, you know, when they went to Anfield, the manner in which City are going about their business, does it bother you? That, you know, that often enough United will go somewhere and defend?
No, I think people said that about the Liverpool game, but I watched that game, and first half I thought it was quite a good performance for an away side at Anfield, and United didn't really give Liverpool a chance. In the second half, I didn't think the manager changed his tactics very much at all. And I thought the players brought the pressure on themselves. They kept giving the ball away so cheaply. And so I'd blame the players on that day. I didn't think they put in a good second half performance because they give the ball away so cheaply. So that let Liverpool keep getting the ball back and putting more pressure on us. So I don't think it was the way that Jose actually set out that day. But at the end of the day, they were a bit fortunate to get the point.
Were you surprised at Arsenal? Because people were saying that Jose was going to go down to the Emirates and park the buses, they say, which I don't think he does. But the first 20 minutes, United were on the front foot and went after them. I think they caught Arsenal by surprise. I thought they were brilliant.
Well,
the way they pressed them.
When you look at that, you look at the team that he played, and you've got people like Lingard in the team, away from home. Well, you would say, no, well, that's not the type of player that I'm going to play. If I'm going to park the bus, I'm going to have all my big, strong defenders, and maybe it's Lukaku up front who can hit them on the pace, or Rashford to the side. But he went with Jesse as well. Yeah. And so.
Who many probably would say it isn't your best starting 11. Jesse Lingard. Would you?
No, I think fans would say that, yeah, but I think what Jesse does, he gives you loads of endeavour and he works really hard. But once he gets into that goal scoring mood and he gets a few goals, then he's really important to the team because he does work very hard for the team. So that's good if you do want to have an attacking player in, but he does a defensive role as well. Then he's a really good squad player to have.
Paul Pogba, disappointing? Not for you, obviously.
Well, for me, Paul would talk before we come on the show, and for me, that's never been a sending off. I think the way Berlin went into the tackle was a poor sort of technique to try and go into tackle, and I think Paul was just overstretching and caught him. For me, I know it's a bit different in my days, but I thought it was a poor sending off. I thought it was a booking.
He'll miss the game. You're not sad about that, are you? One bit, I wouldn't have.
Well, you don't want MD to miss the big games, and I think Pep and a few of the City players have come out and said that they would much rather play against the best players, but deep down they'll be delighted that Pogba's not playing because he's the one that makes them tick. I think he's their best player. Everything they do attacking wise.
Influence, Paul.
It gives the whole team a lift when he's there.
You look at when we had a couple of bad results, when Paul was injured.
Absolutely.
And so we go to Huddersfield, put in a poor performance, even though it's after a European, a long trip back, and then you had to play on the side here. So that's our poorest performance of the season, and it's without him. As soon as he's come back into the team, straight away we started scoring goals.
The thing is, Bryan, if you've got your best player in your team as a teammate, it automatically improves your game 10% because he's there.
Yeah. I'll ask you both a question now. From your day to now, has the balance of power shifted, or is it still over at Old Trafford?
How many did City win last year? I think we won 3 trophies, was it? Yeah.
Do you want the matches back?
Yeah. I'm binding my time here.
What do you? This is a valid argument now, isn't it? We spoke about it last season when the derby was on, but is there a shift? Now you've started to win things?
I think at the end of this season we'll tell a big story. For me, I just can't. The way City are playing at the minute, I can't see them getting beat, regardless of who they're playing against, and they'll go back to the strength and depth. If Pogba's United's best player, and have they got someone of similar quality to replace that? If City do lose a David Silva or a De Bruyne or Aguero gets injured, they've got Jesus to come in, then they've got Sané. That attacking quality over the season and the strength and depth they've got there.
No, I don't think the balance has changed. Not at this moment of time. If you look back at the last 5 years, both clubs have done really well. They've won the Premiership. They've won trophies. Where I think what City have done, they've caught up to United now. And they're a big club. They've got loads of ambition, and so I think it's very close. And I agree with Paul. this season is going to be really interesting. What happens in May?
Yeah.
You know, because you've got the Champions League final, and you've got the FA Cup final, and you've got whoever's going to win the title. So there's a long way to go yet. And even though City, you know, I said earlier on, you know, they're playing some great football. You know, they've been outstanding in games where they've absolutely destroyed teams, and could have been not 3s and 4s, it could have been 8s. So they are playing outstanding football, but you never know what happens in the game. You know, a little bit of loss of form or a couple of injuries to real key players, and then all of a sudden United come back into it. But you know, for me, this game is massive for us to win, because you don't want City getting 11 points clear of you at this stage of the season. What
were your old managers like in Derby week? I mean, obviously with Fergie, I imagine, well, Liverpool perhaps more so in the past, but I've been told, you know, by former players that you always knew when there's a derby up, because it was no nonsense. You know, there was fight about the place.
No, but Sir Alex, I think he's been on record. He didn't really motivate us. He knew all his players were going to be up for
you didn't have to. You didn't need your manager to motivate you.
And so he doesn't have to come in and give a team talk and try and raise you in the game. He knows his players are going to be up for that game. It's when you're playing teams from lower down in the league, that's when he used to come in and he'd go, I don't want any nonsense today, mucking about, disrespecting the opposition. You know, and so that's the way he always managed.
This weekend, with the amount of, you know, foreign players involved in this derby, will it be there? Will it be as evident as it was in your day, do you think?
Yeah, I do. And I was happy to hear Vincent Kompany come out yesterday, you know, because everybody, managers play it down and say it's just another game. Players come out and say, oh, it's normal week leading up to it. Vincent actually came out yesterday and said it's not. It's completely different, which was quite refreshing to hear, because it's completely different Derby week leading up to it. And Vincent said it's the only game to him that's important, not just because it's the next one, because it's the Manchester Derby. And I thought that was quite refreshing, because it gets a bit boring now when you.
It's still only 3 points.
Well, yeah, it's 3 points. Yeah, that's all that matters. Yeah, it is. But you know, whether Vincent's playing the game or not, I don't know. But that's what the fans want to hear as well. They want to hear the players coming out and saying, yeah, it is different. It is the Derby.
But talking about points, that is the crucial factor for United, isn't it? If you can claw back 3 points against, you know, the current leaders.
Well, it is. You know, all the way through the years I've been involved with United, it was always, if a team gets in front of you, right, you know, by Christmas, New Year, let's not let them get too far away from us. If we're thereabouts that time of the season, then we've got a great chance in the second part of the season.
It's a perfect time for them as well, coming up to Christmas. There are that many games. You could go into January and the league, the top of the league, could look totally different, couldn't it? Depending on who wins this game.
I think there's, not just saying it, I think there's a huge amount of pressure on Man United, as Bryan rightly said there. You know, to go into the Christmas period, possibly 11 points behind, or even 8 points behind, is a huge amount at that time. And it's how many games do you see City losing after that as well? You know, if they go into 11 points, can you really see City losing another 4 games the way they're playing at the minute? I know things can change, and I think United have to come after them. I mean, how do you think Jose will set up?
I think, Paul, sometimes it's better for the players to go in knowing what they've got to do.
Yeah.
United know they've got to win this game, so they'll definitely go for City. City, you know, whether they'll, well, with Guardiola in charge, they're not going to sit back and sort of just defend. But I think the United players know the importance of it, and they know they've got to make it a fierce game at Old Trafford, you know, to try and get the victory.
Does that annoy you slightly though, that with Man City, you know exactly how they're going to play? It doesn't matter if they're playing at Old Trafford this weekend or they're at home to Huddersfield next week or whatever, they're going to play exactly how they play. With United, there's a variance, isn't there, depending on who the opposition is?
Yeah, there is, but I think Jose this week, you know, leading up to it, I think he'll definitely work on getting in the face and not allowing City time to play from the back and build up things. So, you know, I can see a very competitive match. You know, and United do have certain players who have got the physicality to, you know, to do that. But there again, I think City have added that to them, and they've got a lot of metal in their team. and that's why they're top of the league and they've won games the way they've won it. You know, so they'll not just, you know, lay down and be rolled over. So I think it'll be a really competitive game.
I'm guessing we're thinking it's going to be a scoring game. Where are your goals coming from? Before we talk about where City's goals are coming from, we probably all know.
Well, I think it depends where you know what team Jose does play. But I think rather than Lukaku, where you've got company in that you know around that area, I'm sure that they'll work on him being closest to Lukaku. Then I'm looking at people like Jesse Lingard or Rashford, you know, coming in from the width or playing in the hole. I think those players for United have got a big responsibility in the game.
Ashley Young as well has been chipping in, hasn't he? He seems to have grown up.
Ashley's in a great vein of form. You know, getting back into the England squad is obviously giving him massive confidence booster. You know, but he deserves it because Ash always works really hard at his game, and he's got a mentality to want to win. You know, so he's in great form at the moment.
Do we need to ask where City's goals are coming from?
All over. I mean, just I'll go back to what Bryan's saying about United. That's the one thing that worries me is United's physicality and height and that they've got, because where City have struggled at times this season, and I'll go back to the West Ham game at the weekend and the Southampton game midweek with set pieces. You know, they set up in a way where they go zonal, they get all the big players in the 6-yard box, and you know, for instance, the Southampton game last week, they had Gabriel Jesus picking up Van Dijk. You know, and Southampton could have been 2 goals up, mainly from set pieces. You know, and if you think Fellaini's probably going to play, you've got Lukaku, you've got the centre halves. United are a big physical team, and I think that's one place that they'll look to hit City at. But from City's point of view, I think the fact that United have to win the game and they'll go after them, I think City have got the players that they find little pockets, and I think that'll play into their hands. And you know, Aguero, Jesus, whoever it is, Sané and Sterling are going to be massive, especially if United play 3 at the back, because if they're playing 3 at the back, the way to get round them is out wide and get 2v1s with Walker and Sterling on one side, and Fabian Delph, who's been unbelievable since he came in, and Sané on the other side. You know, I think that's somewhere that just purely with the 3 centre halves that Pep will look to, and Pep wants to play with width anyway. You know, he'll look to hit United. Sterling really stepping up as well at the minute, isn't he? Looking good. He is, and it's, you know, I know people are giving Pep credit for giving the confidence, but I think you've got to give Raheem a lot of credit as well. You know, I noticed a big difference around last season, possibly when Pellegrini was the manager and Raheem got the ball as a wide player, his first touch was always backwards. You know, now since the managers came in, every time he gets the ball's out his feet. He's either looking to get a shot off, take his player on, get a cross in, and it's just the confidence. I mean, you're talking about Aguero, Jesus, Sané, De Bruyne. He's a top goal scorer at the minute, you know, and it speaks volumes. Yeah,
I think him and Rashford are very similar. Yeah. That they were missing too many chances last year, where both of them added that part to the game. So they're great players to have in the team when they've got that much pace and ability to be able to score a goal. Managers wise, be honest, who do you like best as a manager? Would either of you swap? I mean, you must like Pep really. But you're going to say Jose anyway, aren't you? I think you know the answer from both. I don't think he's going to say Jose, and I don't think I'm going to say Pep. We've been in this game too long. But no, they're both great managers. You just look at the record of both managers, and they've had success at clubs. You know, and they'll not be fazed by this game. They've been in big derbies before and all, but they know how important it is to win this game. Would you swap? You wouldn't, would you? No, obviously the obvious answer is, you know, you're going to go with Pep, but agreeing with Brad, we're agreeing too much here for a derby talk. You look at the titles that both won, different ways of doing it. You know, both won Champions Leagues, big clubs. You know, and their track records up there with the best. But obviously, I'm going to say Pep. The style of football that he plays, the way he's got. The team playing at the minute, and he seems a bit more happier than what Jose is a lot of the time in front of the camera now. He does. He looked really happy at the weekend. Yeah. If he's gonna berate all your players, he's got to stop doing that with the opposition players, hasn't he? Words of advice it was. That's what it was. Yeah, a lot of advice. Predictions wise, then, where are we going? Where's this going to be won and lost? I'm going 2-1 United.
Are you?
Just because of home advantage, and I think the players will be really up for the game.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3-1 City. Just purely what I said before. I think United have to come after Man City, and I think with the players, with David Silva, with De Bruyne, and the attacking players they've got, that they'll pick them off.
Is that where you're putting your money, even though it's away?
Yeah, absolutely. I think being away might suit City a bit better with United having to come after them.
So we've got 3-1 City, 2-1 Manchester United. You can check out all the latest odds on betsafe.com, and remember, you've got to be in it to win it.